How do? Here I am, trying something new. Welcome to Why I'm Coining Party Hard Wrestling, which is going to be my sort of series of videos on my wrestling collection, my wrestling figure collection. Yes, at the age of 40 in 2025, I started a wrestling figure collection. It's not like a sort of like the collections that a lot of people have where they will try and buy everything. I'm sort of trying to build a roster rather than a collection. Essentially, just for the most part, picking and choosing the wrestlers I like and getting one sort of, one not definitive, but like a version of them that I'm happy with. I don't want like 75 different John Cena's, I just want to find one version of each character that I'm happy with. If I do end up, if they bring one out and I've already got a character and they bring one out that I deem better, I will possibly upgrade and then use my old character either to sell on or as parts for custom figures or something like that. I don't know. But at the minute, that's what I'm trying to achieve. Although I do seem to mostly be buying new, I've been wanting to sort of do it on the cheap. I've managed to pick up a few things from charity shops. So that's kind of like my manifesto. I'm not going overboard with the cost. I'm not buying every version of every character. If I miss one, and because I missed out on I wanted the Street Fighter Rey Mysterio because it was like a reference to Ryu from Street Fighter, but it also looked like something that Rey Mysterio would wear. I missed out on that figure, and I'm not going to let stuff like that eat me inside. There'll be another Rey Mysterio down the line, which I'll see and I'll like and I'll buy. Rey Mysterio is on the list of wrestlers which are, one of the ones that is essential to me. But yeah, just like I do pickups with the computer games, I want to do pickups with the action figures too. I've been doing it sort of sporadically on Instagram. Some of these you'll have seen on Instagram, some of them you won't, because I've not been posting everything that I get on Instagram, just like the odd bits. I'm sort of toying with the idea of starting a new Instagram just for my wrestling figure content. The thing that's got me into the figures is watching channels like WSC Stage Creator, where he like acts out like full like pay-per-views and matches and stuff with these figures, sort of using stop motion animation or like by manipulating them by hand. There's a few channels that do that, and that's what kind of got me into the collecting. And while I don't think I'm going to go that far with it, I do want to mess around with like doing like post like action figure photography and stuff like that, like nothing to a professional standard because I just don't have the space or the time for it, but I just kind of want to mess around dicking about with stuff like that. So yeah, I'm toying with the idea of starting a new Instagram just for that. So on with it. There's quite a lot to get through. Thinking I might split this into two videos actually. I hate this phrase because all YouTubers use it, but without further ado, most people say adieu as well, which really annoys me. Without further goodbye in French or whatever. German, I don't know. Without further ado, I'll get into the collecting. There's quite a lot to get through, because it's been a while since I've really gone through anything like this, so I might actually split this into two videos. It used to be rate YouTubers for doing that, but I think there is genuinely enough for two videos here. I don't want to keep my videos going on for too long, especially if it's something that not a lot of people are going to be into. But yeah, so firstly, everything I picked up until this point, I'd picked up from like Argos, Sainsbury's, Smiths, in person. And I was very sort of, I think I'd managed to find one really cheap AEW figure. It was Chris Statlander on Amazon. That was the only AEW figure I had, and I wanted to get more AEW ones. So I found a website. It's not exactly a secret. I think everybody who's into the hobby will know about it. I can never remember if it's wrestlingshop.co.uk or wrestlingstore.co.uk or something like that. I will put a link on the screen when I figure out what it is. I thought I'd try doing an order from them because their prices look good. I think if you spent £50 you get free delivery, so that was my call to spend £50, wasn't it? So I put in an order on them, a couple of AEW figures and a WWE figure. I just kind of put, filtered to what was in stock and what was the cheapest, and just went through and picked three that I liked. There are three wrestlers that were definite 100% must-buys for me. Three of my top guys. I've got a lot of top guys, and I do love wrestling, and I love a lot of wrestlers, but these are three that were definite must-owns at some point in my collection. The first one, this is an AEW figure, and it's already out of the packet. There's going to be some that are already out, some that I might unbox now. The first one is this weird. It's weird because it's an AEW figure, but it was wearing one of his outfits from his WCW days. But I do think he brought this back for a pay-per-view. I don't know. I'm not really that up on AEW. I started watching it religiously when it first came on, but I'm not going to lie, I prefer WWE. They just seem to have more of a emphasis on the safety of the performers and stuff. But I'm not going to that. It's the one and the only Chris Jericho from, what is it, Winnipeg, Canada, I think it is. Winnipeg, yeah, sure it is. I meant to announce everyone's where they're from and everything, but completely forgot. But I'm pretty sure it's Winnipeg. That's Chris Jericho and his Lion Tamer WCW outfit. I think he wore it on All In or something. It's not the best likeness, I'm not going to lie. If you'd shown me that facially, I would not realise that was Chris Jericho. But apart from that, the tattoos detail are spot on. If you can get it to focus on that, he's even got his Rolling Stones tattoo, which you wouldn't, I'd expect that to be to have the old CM Punk Pepsi logo treatment and be deleted from the figure. He's even got his little tiny hand tattoo, which is cool. It's a rubber jacket he's wearing, but it does appear to come off, which is cool because he's not going to wear that while he's wrestling, is he? It's a good figure. Like I said, it's not the best likeness, but it was a decent Jericho for a decent price. I wasn't going to turn turn my nose up at that. It may get upgraded in the future. You never know. Really impressed with the AEW figures though, because they have really good articulation, even like the most basic priced ones. Which is something that I will probably come to later on with the WWE figures. The second one I got from them, I bought 3 in total. This is from Birmingham, England, and that is not Butch, it's Pete Dunne. This is an elite figure, so these are sort of like the sweet spot thing with WWE figures, the elite ones. Yeah, the ultimate ones are like the top of the range, but they tend to run about £30 for the price, and that's a bit much in my eyes for a figure, despite the fact that I do own a couple that cost me that much. From day-to-day buying, it is just far too much. But this is an elite one. It was fairly cheap. Pete Dunne is one of my absolute favourites. He's, not hometown, but home country boy. Wasn't keen on the name change to Butch, but what are you going to do? So there he is, Pete Dunne. Butch. This is a Mattel Elite WWE figure. It's decent likeness. Actually, it comes with it's a fabric shirt, which when I was a kid, you only got fabric clothes on 1 in 12 figures, didn't you? Like Action Man and stuff. So that's cool. I'm half tempted to get some paints and just paint his gear in his proper Pete Dunne colours. Because I like the Brawling Brutes as a team, but I just don't like Butch. What the hell's all that about? Butch is not Pete Dunne. Butch is a shepherd from New Zealand, isn't it? That's him without his gear on. This also comes with, and I've always been, since I was a kid, I've been drawn to figures which have accessories, because especially with the wrestling figures where it's usually just the wrestler on his own. Back in the day, I didn't really know anything about wrestling. I just got the figures that looked cool. So yeah, I was always drawn to the ones with accessories because it looked like you were getting more for your money, if you get what I mean. And I still am now. And this one came with a pretty cool sort of breakaway cricket bat, which you can tell it's been designed by Americans because it's it's not got a flat side. It's got 2 ridged sides, but yeah, it's supposed to be like a breakaway cricket bat thing, which is supposed to come apart when you hit someone, but it's very loose. I think the peg's slightly damaged that holds it together, which is a shame. Don't know if there's anything I can do about that, but it's a cool little unique sort of accessory, a cricket bat. Pretty stoked with that. One of the legs is very stiff. I have bought, after a Jade Cargill incident where I ended up snapping one of the legs off, I have bought myself a hairdryer to loosen up the joints for posing. You can do his little hand thing. I haven't got any championship belts to hand, but I know he likes to keep it in his mouth. A little bit of blue tack on a belt hanging from his mouth would be good. I love Pete Dunne, the Bruiserweight. He's awesome. And the last one I got from that website was another AEW figure, which I haven't opened yet. These AEW ones are like weirdly packaged, and it's really difficult to get into the box. But that is the best man from Bulgaria, Miro, known in his WWE guise how he currently actually is. Back there again. As Rusev. So there he is. I am super stoked with that one actually. It only comes with the one head, which is a shame because he's kind of got crazy expression on his face. Could have done with an extra head with a neutral expression. But yeah, I really like that figure. He's got his best man trunks on. His tattoo detail's really good on his back, and then his Bulgaria tattoo on his arm. It's from his bleached hair kind of phase. He's got a shaved head now. Again, I've only got 3 AEW figures, but the articulation on them all has been great and nice and not too loose, but not too stiff. As far as I can see, just the general quality of the AEW figures seems to be better than the WWE ones. If only the wrestling was. So yeah, super stoked with Rusev. It just comes with, the only thing that comes with is a couple of extra hands. Again, the Butch one came with a couple of extra hands as well, but I forgot to show them off, but hands are just hands, aren't they? Yeah, super stoked with that actually. That's one of my favourites so far. It feels nice and chunky, nice and solid, and the joints are all nice and solid and all move quite freely. Really impressed. This next one is one of these. Oh, actually no, before I get to that, I've been buying sort of like odd accessories and stuff off the internet too, and I thought I'd buy a nice Rusev Day t-shirt, which I found on I can't remember the name of the seller on eBay, but I've been using a certain seller to buy accessories and stuff from. I found a Happy Rusev Day t-shirt. Thought I'd buy it for my Rusev figure to wear. It turns out I believe it's a Lana shirt. Rusev's wife, who was his on-screen valet. There is absolutely no way Rusev's getting that around him. I do intend to get a Lana figure, not because she's particularly a favourite of mine, but just to go with my Rusev. So I'll save that for her, shall I? But yeah, happy Rusev Day, everybody. So yeah, this next figure is one of the more expensive ones that I was talking about. Essentially, I've been wanting not only for WWE and AEW figures and real life wrestlers. I've been also wanting to get sort of video game and TV wrestlers to go with it. I've picked up a Zangief. I've got a King from Tekken. I've got some of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles WWE figures. But I kind of wanted with my Zangief one, there's a couple of wrestlers in Street Fighter. One of them, I don't think El Fuego. He might get a figure now. I've seen him in the trailer for the Street Fighter film actually. But yeah, there's also Rainbow Mika. I believe there's only been like 2 action figures I've ever brought out. One of them was from back in like 2005 or something by Sota Toys, State of the Art Toys. And I think it was convention exclusive maybe. And then there was a Street Fighter 4 or 5, Street Fighter 5 figure, I believe it was. And both of them are quite prohibitively expensive, even if you get them on AliExpress. Like even the knockoff ones are quite expensive. But I managed to find on eBay a boxed Sota Toys Rainbow Mika for 30 quid. And I didn't expect much for that price because it's normally between 45 and 60. But I came into a bit of money that I wouldn't have ordinarily had, which is, I'm not going to get back into that again, but we had a bit of a splurge. And the first thing I bought off eBay was from Japan. Rainbow Mika from Sota Toys. It's from Japan, not that it came from Japan, I mean, she's built from Japan. Well, she's not built from anywhere because it's Street Fighter, but that's the country she's supposedly from. So there we are. Street Fighter's female luchador, Rainbow Mika. She's based on, it's a Soto Toys one, and it was based on the Street Fighter animes, not animes, mangas from Udon Entertainment. And the characters in that were a little bit sort of more slight than they are in the games. So she is quite thin compared to what you'd expect. The Street Fighter 5 figure was better, but I just could not find that anywhere for a decent price. This is very well articulated and posable, but does feel fragile. She came with a couple of extra hands and an extra head with a sort of more anguished expression on her face. You take the pigtails off and put it on the new head. They didn't put them on both heads. But yeah, that cost me £30. But for a box figure from 2005, I felt kind of bad opening it because it's been over 20 years in that box. But these things are meant to be free. But yeah, really fragile looking. It's also not quite to scale. She's very small compared to like Liv Morgan, who's one of the more sort of diminutive female wrestlers in there. She's not quite as tall as Liv, so I'd probably say she'd be about 4'10" in real life. But I don't mind, actually. The hilarious thing. Oh shit! Forgot to mention that Rusev came with a microphone too, which is cool because now we've got a WWE and an AEW microphone. But yeah, it's doubly funny how small she is because of how big the Zangief figure I got from Stone Collectibles was. Because he's freaking huge. He probably is standing at about 7.5 feet tall at least. It's not the official Stone Collectibles one, it's a AliExpress special, so his joints are a little bit loose. But still very posable all the same. It's not like I'm going to be playing with him. Yeah, side by side, we're talking a good 3 foot difference. But yeah, it's just kind of comical, the size difference between these two. One of the poses I kind of wanted to put him in is like with his arm up like that and Mika sat on his shoulder, which it's going to be pretty funny, that size difference. It's kind of like when, if you remember back when they did the Mixed Match Challenge in WWE, they had Braun Strowman and Alexa Bliss together, and he was like a 7 footer and she's like a 5 footer. It's like that, but dialed up. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm really stoked to have that in my collection. It's not my favourite figure in terms of appearance, but it's really cool to just have it. And I think the last thing I'm gonna go on about this time, actually, and then I'll cut it off and do a second episode. I know this has not been the most interesting, but I'm still finding my flow. We had a particularly sad trip to the vets, which you'll probably know about if you've watched my other videos. On the way home, we called into Home Bargains to have a look what toys they had there, just to kind of drown my sorrows a bit. These are only Mattel basic figures, which are like sort of the least. They feel the sort of chunkiest. They're obviously the ones that are meant to be played with, whereas the others are meant to be displayed. But they're like the least articulated and sort of the least amount of effort into making them. But for wrestlers that I kind of don't really care about that much, they are. I will pick them up. Saying about this one, it's saying I don't care too much. This one's one of my favourite wrestlers of all time. I picked up from Home Bargains, from Bray County, Wicklow Island, Finn Balor. And I'm not bothered that this is a basic figure because I will hopefully at some point try and pick up the Demon Finn Balor, his alternate guise, as an elite. It's a good figure though. It's not, like I said, it's not amazingly articulated, but it will serve its purpose. Just kind of as you see, no extra hands, no extra heads or anything. The basic figures don't tend to. That's cool to have. And last but not least, I picked up at the same time, I've not opened this just yet because I've just not got around to it. This from Atlanta, Georgia, maybe? I don't know. Am I thinking of just because of AJ Styles there or what? But yeah, Xavier Woods. And I mainly picked this one up because from a trip to a charity shop beforehand, I managed to find a Kofi Kingston and a Big E. So now I do have a very mismatched New Day. It's clearly like an old design Xavier Woods. It's not got his tattoos. He's smiling, so it's a babyface one, which is fine because that's how I like the New Day. I like them as a trio. Obviously, that can't be helped in real life after Big E's accident, but I like them as a trio. I like them as babyfaces, and yeah, I have Woods, an Elite Kofi Kingston, which found in a charity shop, which was a win. Because that's like £100 that to buy new now, and that's sort of like a very basic old Big E figure from before they made the basic figures more articulated. So yeah, I now have the full New Day, and to complement my New Day, I went on my accessory seller again, and I picked up as sort of a pack of two together. Trombone, I can't remember what he called the trombone, but Woods' trombone and a headband with a unicorn horn on it. I don't know where this is from because it's far too big to fit on any of the figures. I don't know, actually, it fits Woods quite well, but that's just because of his hair holding it on. But yeah, it's very loose, it's very big, and doesn't really fit on the figures properly. And also, the trombone is slightly, it feels like it's going to break. So I might have to just pull that apart and get the glue gun on it, but yeah, there we go. Awesome stuff. While I'm on the subject of accessories as well, I'm trying to try this out and see how well it works. I ordered a set of 10 folding chair mobile phone holders off Amazon for next to nothing. They're just like a little thing you see if there's like a ridge there for your phone to stand up on, and they'll fold up nicely. I think they fold up that way actually, yeah. I just thought I'll try getting them. They're only a couple of quid, and see how well suited they are to my wrestling figures as just accessories, because you can buy official accessories but they are quite expensive. But yeah, these are just, well, I've got Big E here. Quite flimsy, but you know, reasonably well sized. Maybe a little bit big, but you know. Decent size for posing. And also, while I'm on the subject of accessories as well, I was building a Lego set the other day, and it was it's a shark, and it comes with a little crab and some like a treasure chest and stuff, and it had a little piece with a chain in it. And it wasn't a sort of integral part to the model, so I saw this chain and immediately went into my spare Lego parts. Because you always get like a few extra small parts in case you drop any. And I just crafted myself a set of nunchucks with the chain. So yeah, that's part of my Lego accessories now. In fact, here we are. They'll go perfect with the Lego Macho Man Michelangelo. Lego Macho Man Michelangelo is not Lego. Just the regular Macho Man Michelangelo. Can you tell I'm out of practice? Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Awesome. So yeah, thanks for watching. Don't really know where I'm going with this series, but you know, finding my footing, aren't I? I'm going to keep the rest for another video, which I might record now, but I might record later. We don't know. I think I'll probably record it later. I'm a bit tired. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'm sorry that was terrible, but yeah, thanks for joining me on the ride for this collection. Hopefully I'll see you next time.